YouTube, how we doing, family? It's your boy, Yo, and this is another episode of Yo Hoops. I go through every NBA game every day. Today's Saturday, January 31st, and we have a 6-game NBA card. I'm going to walk you through my thoughts and let you know what sides I like, so please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and let me know your favorite game in the comment section below. Without further ado, let me get into today's recap. Recap yesterday, I dropped my highlighted play of the day. I took the Toronto Raptors on the money line in Orlando against the Orlando Magic. I'm really not one to complain. I know losing can be a part of sports betting, but I honestly can't wrap my mind around the way a lot of these games are playing out. The Raptors dominated the game for 3 quarters to the point where they led by 13 in the fourth. All of a sudden, they can't make a bucket, and the Magic win the fourth quarter by 23 points. I watched the game, and it genuinely looked like a different Raptors team in the final period. Final score was 130 to 120, Magic. Like I said, I'm not going to sit here and make excuses, but at the same time, I've been let you guys know after the All-Star break, I'm going to roll out a different format for the show. Last day of the month, let's end it on a high note. Without further ado, let me get into today's games. My selection in the Spurs and Hornets game was posted to the channel page. Probably good most of you didn't see it because I was on the Spurs laying the points. In our first matchup of the evening, we have the Atlanta Hawks in Indiana taking on the Indiana Pacers. Hawks are minus 120 on the money line, and the total is 233.5. The Pacers are actually the healthier team coming into this one. With Jalen Johnson listed as questionable, I'd have to lean towards Indiana. We did see the Hawks win this same matchup 6 days ago, but that game was in Atlanta, and the Hawks still had Okongwu and Jalen Johnson in the lineup. Benedict Mathurin was also out. Tonight, with the healthier lineup in the Fieldhouse, the Pacers should get it done. I'm taking the Pacers plus the 1.5 points as my first selection of the evening. In our next matchup, we have the New Orleans Pelicans in Philadelphia taking on the Philadelphia 76ers. Sixers are minus 280 on the money line, and the total is 232. The Pelicans come into this one on the second leg of a back-to-back, flying from New Orleans to Philadelphia. They got the dominant win over Memphis last night, and in general, I've been seeing them competing recently. They've won 3 of their last 4, and one of those wins was against the Spurs. This line opened with the Pelicans as 9-point underdogs, and I can see why it's moving in their direction, considering they haven't lost a game by more than 9 in 10 straight meetings. I know on paper the Sixers are supposed to be the better team, but with New Orleans at full strength barring rest, they should have a legitimate chance to win this game. I'm taking the Pelicans plus the 8.5 as my next selection of the evening. In our next matchup, we have the Chicago Bulls in Miami taking on Miami Heat. Heat are minus 225 on the money line, and the total is 233.5. Both teams are dealing with a handful of injuries, so we're kind of left guessing who's going to show up. For the Bulls, Josh Giddey, Jalen Smith, and Trey Jones are all rolled out. Then Kobe White and Vucevic are both listed as doubtful. If everyone sits, that leaves us with the Bulls' second unit. For the Heat, Davion Mitchell, Tyler Hero, and Norman Powell are all rolled out. I'd still say the injury situation is worse for Chicago, and the only new addition to Miami's IR is Norm. Considering we're in Miami, where the Heat have stayed profitable against the spread all season, I'd have to lean in their direction. I'm taking the Heat laying the 6.5 as my next selection of the evening. In our next matchup, we have the Minnesota Timberwolves in Memphis taking on Memphis Grizzlies. Wolves are minus 350 on the money line, and the total is 230. The Grizzlies come into this one on the second leg of a back-to-back, flying from New Orleans back home to Memphis. They got their asses kicked by the Pelicans last night, and there's really no reason they don't get their doors blown off tonight. Memphis has half of their team on the IR, and the other half just played 30-plus minutes in New Orleans last night. The Wolves come into this one rested and at full strength. It should be light work. This is a game where I will not have any money on personally because I already see it as a perfect trap spot. This is a type of game where I've been seeing teams like the Grizzlies win outright or compete for reasons I can't personally explain. I would take the Timberwolves laying the 8.5 as my next selection of the evening. In our next matchup, we have the Dallas Mavericks in Houston taking on the Houston Rockets. Rockets are minus 490 on the money line, and the total is 222.5. This is one of the few times we're seeing the Rockets at full strength. I'd have to lean towards them getting it done by margin. Dallas is currently the worst road team in the league with an ATS record of 6-13. I'm not counting on Cooper Flag and Najee Marshall to keep me competitive against the Rockets at full strength in Houston. I'll absolutely be betting this one, and I'm taking the Rockets laying the 11 as my last and final selection. And that's going to conclude today's video. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Let's end January with a bang. But if I'm being honest, I'm glad to put it behind me. Like I mentioned, some changes coming to the format mid-February, but until then, let's stack some wins. I appreciate the support so much. I do this every day for free, so please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It's your boy, Yo! And until the next one, I'ma catch y'all. Peace.